escape. That is why I was drinking over a liter of vodka a day for at least 3 years. And when you peel back the layers, we might all have different reasons that we think we're using alcohol or a vice to escape. You know, for me, it was 9 years into a business, well into the six figures, failed and lost, life-changing injury, failing, eventually failed marriage, on and on and on, Cry Me a River. But there's something behind all of that, that even if my story is completely different than yours, and even if the thing I'm going to explain here that helped me start understanding this is completely different than the way you relate, I believe the cause behind all of this is very similar. It is the same for us as men today. Now today is day 952 since the last day I had a drink. I'll never drink again in my life. This is my identity. These conversations here, what I'm doing is my purpose. There's no chance. But as I was a young kid, kindergarten, at the very beginning, man, even before that, just the classroom, it felt so terribly wrong to me. Sit here, orderly, raise my hand, follow directions, do what you're told within the structure you're given. As life goes on, somehow I made it all the way through university. Even though the classroom was the most wrong place for me, I made it through university somehow. And by the time you get to the end of that, we're well indoctrinated. We have been taught to follow directions, to be submissive, to be compliant, to stay within that structure. And as a man, as a creative, as a problem solver, as someone who's had this deep addiction to adrenaline, which kind of comes behind, that'll make more sense. It's making more sense how this all ties together now. I was a big adrenaline addict. Stunt riding, downhill mountain biking, snowboarding, my whole life has been about adrenaline, and I got a lot of receipts and a lot of videos to show it. But there was a reason behind all this instinctive deep thing inside of us as men has been completely stifled, especially in the last 50 years. But we're in a 200-year-old education system based on industrialization, militarization, basically turning everybody into a robot, into a cog, into you're going to specialize. This is your place that you fit into the world. This is your identity. These are your limitations. You can't create outside of that. You can't solve problems any bigger. I'm going to buy your life from you, one paycheck or one invoice at a time. I'm going to place the value on your life. And it just felt so wrong. Me being a systems thinker, being a problem solver, being someone who has so much more to offer himself, offer whatever challenge he's solving far beyond any form of structure. I don't care, man, whether I was just a janitor or a high-end corporate lawyer or a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist. The idea of specialization based on this 200-year-old model, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for many of us men in one way or another, whether you understand that or not yet. I'll leave a link to another video I made all about the history of the education system, where this came from. Prussia, a country that no longer exists. It was the predecessor, one of the predecessors to Germany. And I'll give you the whole history and how this all ties together in a different video I'll leave at the end of this. So we have this deep instinct as men to solve problems, to build, to battle, to compete, to conquer, to demonstrate excellence, to earn the approval of women, to earn the best mate. Yet, this system has told us to sit down, to be quiet, to fit within the box that you're told, and you only are going to achieve as much as we're allowing you to. We've been trained into this voluntary form of indentured servitude. We don't know any better. There's something that's felt wrong ever since our youngest ages, and because we are so heavily brainwashed and indoctrinated into this system where we are just a little piece in a wheel, a little cog in a wheel, our conscience is just screaming at us. We can do more. There's more. We can contribute more to ourselves, to our futures, to our families, to our community, to the greater good of humanity. But nope, I am this. I fit into this box. And over time, there's something just so deeply unfulfilling. Our conscience is screaming at us every day, every hour of our lives, that we trade for dollars to have someone else tell us what to do and live within those limitations. is an hour of our lives that we're not pursuing our purpose, that we're not achieving or pursuing our fullest potential. And deep down, we have this instinct to do exactly that. So with enough time, one or two or three or four things, things start blowing up in your face, or you feel stuck. We just can't achieve this deep biological need we have to achieve, to demonstrate excellence, to earn the best possible outcomes for ourselves and our contribution, whatever that may be. Now, we find a lot of different forms of escape, and one of the big ones is just spending money. The money that we earned by trading valuable hours of our lives for it. And we have this sense of desire. We escape by buying something that we don't really need, getting a vehicle that's nicer than we needed, a home, buying or renting a place that's bigger and fancier than we need, and further locking ourselves into this system of indentured servitude. We are living a life without agency as men. And what are we supposed to be doing? We're supposed to be building. We're supposed to be battling. We're supposed to be solving problems and achieving and becoming the greatest versions of ourselves and demonstrating excellence for the approval of the tribe, of women, of ourselves. But we're locked in. We're stuck. We are now stuck, usually living paycheck to paycheck, just to pay for these escapes that come in the form of objects, worldly desires, a lot of times purchased on credit. So now somebody else owns part of our future, and we're giving up more of those valuable, meaningful hours of our lives just to pay interest. Numbers that are created out of thin air, and we're literally selling our lives to someone who has a screen and a database and put a number on it because we needed something, we wanted something, we desired something that we didn't need so bad that we're willing to sell a portion of our life and our future for that thing. The result is that we feel this deep sense of discontentment, of dis-ease. So the only thing we've found to work to temporarily alleviate this terrible feeling that we have is to medicate it away with our vice of choice. And for me, alcohol was the big one. Quick, synthetic dopamine, chemical poison in our brains so that we can feel better for a little while. And as time goes on, our body gets to know this form of vice or addiction better and better, and it works less and less, and it starts doing the opposite. And man, you and I both know how bad that can get. I have been there, man. I have been down to the depths of hell, and I hung out for a long time before I figured out how to get myself out of it. So the thing that's behind all of this, whether your story looks anything like mine, whether most of this makes sense or not, the thing that's behind all of this is a loss of agency. We are no longer able to go out and to battle and to build and to solve problems and to demonstrate excellence. We are stuck within a giant box of limitations. We are now reliant, compliant, submissive. We are not self-reliant. We're reliant on others. And that right there, as men, biologically, our conscience is screaming at us that this is wrong. Just because this is what we've been trained into, what we've been brainwashed and indoctrinated into, doesn't mean it actually has to be that way. So we're now a nation full of freedom, the freest nation, the freest people, yet everybody is stuck. They're not free. There is no freedom when you have no agency. And that is something that us as men, we need for ourselves and for those who, historically, we as men were able to earn their favor, earn their appreciation, earn their help and their teamwork, have a woman who contributes to the household in her way as the man contributes in his way. He's able to truly protect and provide so that he solves the problem of the money. He fixes the things that the man fixes. This is something that was natural and it worked for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And now we've been told that this is wrong, this is toxic. We've been shamed into trying to have a household with two people who are both the man and the woman, Or the woman's supposed to be the boss bitch and the man's supposed to be the stay-at-home dad. And you know what? If that is really the right dynamic for you, the 1 in 1,000 that works for, man, you got my blessing. I got no judgment. But for the rest of us that feel this deep sense of dis-ease with the way things are right now, this is it. Men have been indoctrinated and trained into voluntary submission, voluntary servitude, voluntarily giving up our agency and just doing what somebody else tells us to, and living within those limitations, and not being able to demonstrate the excellence that we have the biological need to demonstrate, and being in a household where everything is a battle and two people are supposed to be the captain of the ship and the crew at the same time, and it's all so broken right now. Now, 90% of the women are out there fighting for 10% of the men who do have agency, who have figured it out, who have escaped this life of reliance on others. And yes, there are some of them who have had some nepotism, maybe had some trust funds and other things like that. Now, I can't hate on it. You know, a person who has life handed to them on a silver platter, or you see this in childhood stars too, or overnight sensations. If they don't go through the hard work to get to where they're going, things get really ugly in weird ways. Lots of addictions, lots of, you have to battle to earn your way to seeing yourself in the mirror, being proud of what you built, to knowing that you put your head down and did hard things and stuck with it no matter what. You have to learn lessons through hardships. These are the things I'm the most grateful for now, that I've gotten on the other side of a lot of really gnarly things in this life. Those things, they were blessings, they were gifts. Adversity is a gift, and it sure doesn't feel like it when you're in it or when you don't understand this. But these are the things that have helped build me to take charge of my life, to say, no, I am not going to live my life based on how someone else tells me I need to look, act, what my value is going to be, how much they can buy my life for. I refuse. And right now, I haven't made it yet. I am out here just figuring things out. You know, I've started a marketing agency, so I am actually selling my life to someone else, one invoice at a time. Now, it's the most amazing, valuable, just perfect situation that I could ever have come up with. I built it and I earned it. But my vision is much bigger than that. And I'm never going to leave these guys hanging high and dry. But over time, I'm going to be reducing the scope of work and time I put into that so I can focus on this a lot more, because this is my meaning and purpose, to help other men who are in a bad way change the direction of their lives. Everything bad that I put myself through and that happened resulted in learning a few extremely valuable lessons. And I promise these are part of so many different philosophies and religions, and we just do not embrace these. We don't even know these simple things in the Western world. And that's really the foundation of all this. How you're going to get sober, how you're going to change the direction of your life, how you're going to develop true self-belief and self-love. Fitness is the foundation for everything. Habits are upstream of fitness. You don't have good habits, you don't have good fitness. You get those two unlocked, you're going to put the bottle down. You're going to eat better. You're going to start pursuing your dreams, your vision, your mission. You're going to start making a difference. You're going to take control of your life. You will grab your agency by the crotch. You're going to take it and you're going to own it and you're going to earn it. And that doesn't happen without going through hardships and discomfort and fitness and habits. That's it. Get yourself into the gym or whatever form of fitness that you choose. Dedicate yourself to it wholeheartedly. Never, ever, 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 ever miss your workouts, ever. Do what you say you're going to do every single time. You will prove to yourself that when you look in the mirror, that is a bad MF. That dude does what he says he's going to do every single time. When you know that deep in yourself, it does such amazing things for you. When you actually learn this, and you know it to be true, you believe it because for years you've done it and you've lived it. Man, the potential is just unlimited. And you know, you might be a guy like me who's out making videos that get 3 views, but I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to stop. This mission is so valuable. There's so many men that need to learn these basic lessons that they can turn their life around the same way I did. You know, I'm 4.5 years into the fitness journey, 2.5 years into no alcohol. And man, it feels like a long time looking forward, But looking back, man, less than 5 years has passed, and I went from a fat, divorced, drunk, lazy loser, no direction, to a person who is pursuing their highest potential every single day. And I know I'll never get there, but I'm never going to stop pursuing that. This message has value, and the more people that I can teach it to, the more people I can bring along on this journey, the more people they can also bring along. This can spread like a disease, but in the best, healthiest way possible. So today's video is a little bit choppy. There was a whole lot of cars with loud exhaust and barking dogs and all kinds of crazy things. But, man, I just love getting this message out, because if even one person listens to this and it just plants a seed for them to start approaching life different, or they just become conscious of these things, you know, what is the problem behind all of this? And what can I do to solve it? The solution is pretty simple. It's not easy, it's not comfortable, not at first, but after a while, it becomes habit, it becomes lifestyle. And then, you know what, I'm 4.5 years, this is now my identity. It's complete and total identity. Every time I stack a new habit, it just gets easier and easier. It's amazing. So it's like, what other hard thing can I do now? I get up at 3:30 a.m. every day of the week. I work out. Monday mornings is legs day. I don't stop. And this all started with that initial day 4.5 years ago, stepping in the gym and just having a vision that I could do something better for myself. So maybe today's the day. Maybe it's time for you to start taking your agency back, to start taking control of your life. And, you know, in another 4.5 or 5 years, or 10 or 20 years, that time will have passed. What do you want to be on the other side of that? You want to be in the same place you're at, or worse? Or you want to start doing the hard, uncomfortable things now to have this beautiful, amazing outcome on the other side of it? Love you. Catch you tomorrow.